No. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2014 Feds election debate hosted by the Fed Services. My name is Nicole Tung, and I am one of the co-moderators, along with Kate Flanagan. We are both the service coordinators for the Sustainable Campus Initiative. I'm going to start with the reading of the rules. Each team will get 120 seconds for an opening introduction made from one representative of the team. Each service has a scheduled time to ask questions. Questions will be clearly directed towards a specific candidate position. Only the candidates going for said position can respond. Each candidate will get 90 seconds for a response. If the candidate has time remaining after the question, it may be used however he or she wishes. The number of questions will be based on time. During the course of the debate, each candidate will get one opportunity for a 20-second rebuttal, indicated by raising up his or her hand and getting the approval of one of the moderators. Only the candidates being asked a question can rebuttal. Our timekeeper will flash this sign when there is 20 seconds remaining. Our timekeeper will raise and hold this sign when there is 10 seconds remaining. Once the sign is lowered, you must stop talking. We will start with introductions. The first team to introduce themselves will be Team Nova, followed by Team Green, and then Team Spark.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Great.
Speak loudly.
Okay. Hi, we are Team Nova, so I'm just going to go across the table and introduce everybody. So my name is Anjali Gopal. I'm the VP internal candidate. This is Elizabeth McFall on my right. She's the VP Operations and Finance candidate. This is Jesse McGinnis on my left. He's our presidential candidate. And then we have Luke McIntosh. He's our Vice President Education candidate. Before we start, we heard it was Team Green member Salim's birthday, so we just wanted to wish him a very happy birthday. Okay. So we're very excited to be here for the services debate, and again, since it's a services debate, I'm going to focus mostly on that in my introduction. As a team, we all feel the 6 services on campus are extremely important and provide a lot of valuable resources for students. We've all had various involvements with the services in the past, and we're very supportive of continuing to grow and expand these services and make it reach out to more students. So in terms of our higher level goals, we have 3 main goals for our interaction with services. So the first thing we want to do is we want to, as I said, expand our services to other sides of campus that may not have as much interaction with it. So I come from the engineering faculty, and this past term I took on an initiative of expanding GLOW into the engineering faculty because GLOW doesn't have a very strong presence there. And these are some of the things we'd like to continue to do, and we want to look at other student groups that might not have as much of a close interaction with these services. We also want to ensure that the services provide a high quality of service to students, and this ties directly with one of our other platform points, which is training. And finally, we want to make sure that the services can advocate for issues very effectively, because we feel that there are certain issues that relate to students specifically that services can uniquely advocate for, especially with our generation today. So we're really interested in looking forward to a lively discussion, and again, we'd like to thank the service coordinators for moderating this debate, and we're hopeful to see what comes of this. Thank you.
All right. Can anyone hear me? Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time and opportunity to learn more about our team and our goals. My name is Mobadir, and I'm the presidential candidate for Team Green. This is Salim Khan. He's the VP internal candidate. This is Safan. He's the VP education candidate. And lastly, we have Ragda. She's the VP OF candidate. First off, I would like to praise all the services for the great work they do for the students. We realize and recognize the importance that services hold as an integral part of FEDS, and we have some ideas that we think are going to improve those services. First off, we would like to improve the FEDS website. Improving a website will create more visibility and improve your individual pages. Second, we would like to create a FEDS website. We would like to create a FEDS smartphone app, and the smartphone app will help promote your events and increase the turnout for your events. And lastly, we would like to create an official map that will be placed in SLC as well as in critical locations and online for students to know where services are. We believe our team has the best candidates for the Fed's exec team because we are truly motivated to enhance the student experience for everyone, including services. Thank you all for showing up and vote Team Green.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maaz Yassin, and on behalf of Team Spark, I'd like to thank you all, especially Sustainable Campus Initiative, for organizing this debate. As you probably know, my team consists of Danielle Bird, who's running for president with me, Ben Balfour, who's running for VP Operations and Finance, and Ranish Kamal, who's running for VP Education. As you all probably know, and I'm running for VP Internal, if you didn't know. Over the last 3 years, I've been involved with Fed Service as a volunteer, as a director, and as a service coordinator. And during this time, not only did I have a chance to work with my service and make improvements there, but also had a chance to collaborate with other services on joint events and initiatives. Over the past few months, my team and I have taken the time to meet with clubs and services like yours and really understand your issues and brainstorm the ways to deal with them. I think that because of this understanding, Team Spark is ready to better support services on day one in office. We want to focus on collaboration between feds and services, we want to focus on visibility for services, and we want to focus on advocacy on behalf of services. Even though I'm sure you guys love to deal with Brendan Lowther all the time, we don't want that to be the extent of your interaction with feds. We want you to have a feds, staff, and exec that recognize your individual needs and will care enough to actively address those needs on a daily basis. Thank you.
The first service to ask questions is Sustainable Campus Initiative. The first question is for VP Internal. On the student survey taken in the fall term, student empowerment and sustainability were the top 2 priorities of students. Since you will be representing students, how will you be addressing this?
Do I?
Okay. So to answer your question about, if you could just repeat the question once again, because I thought Nova was going first.
On the student survey taken in the fall term, student empowerment and sustainability were the top 2 priorities of students. Since you will be representing students, how will you be addressing this?
Thank you. So as I said, one of our 3 main goals for services is collaboration, visibility, and advocacy. So there's 2 issues that you pointed out here, student empowerment and sustainability. For sustainability, I would like to empower the Sustainable Campus Initiatives to work with clubs and services on campus to improve collaboration and improve sustainability. How are we going to do that? Firstly, we can start with having Sai mentioned on the event form so that when clubs and services are hosting events, they can request Sai's input on how to make that event more sustainable. I feel like this would enable all clubs to have that constant collaboration channel with Sai, and it would empower Sai to help other clubs. And when we do that internally, Feds will become a more sustainable organization. And once we are very internally sustainable, the VP Ed and the VP Internal will advocate to the university to adopt better sustainability strategies. So I think that's the way we would answer that question.
Sorry, how much time do I get? 90 seconds. Okay. So thank you for that question. We also believe, Team Nova also believes that sustainability is really important, and it's really great to see that students find this to be a priority. So I'll address 3 main ways in which we can support Sai with these goals. So first, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, one of the things we really want to do is push for collaboration with other faculties and other student societies. So we think there's a lot of room for Sai to get involved with student groups that might not know very much about the service. So we really want to develop these relationships and make sure that other faculties and other student bodies can interact well with Sai. Second, we're also planning on doing a business review as soon as we get into office, and that's one of the unique ways where we can determine what types of sustainable practices businesses are using and whether we can have any modifications there there to, again, address this issue that students care so deeply about. And then the third thing we really want to focus on is marketing. So Sai mentioned that one of the challenges they had over the past fall term was that they didn't have a lot of room to get volunteers, like volunteer marketing wasn't as strong as they wanted it to be. And with some of our ideas, which include the event calendar and the involvement compass, we think we can directly target students who have a strong connection with environmental issues, and that way we can target more volunteers to SCI. So those are our three main points.
Okay. Before starting, first of all, I'd like to thank Team Nova and Team Spark for my birthday wishes. So, in order to empower SCI, we are planning to increase volunteer and to increase sustainability. Working with SCI on environmental initiative is our top priority. Thank you.
The next question is for VP Operations and Finance. Sustainable purchasing is a new service that we are providing in which other clubs, services, and establishments can contact us and find out where they can purchase items that have been made sustainably. What is your opinion of sustainable purchasing now that Bomber is doing financially better and international news is successful?
All right, so thank you for that question. It's a great question. First of all, of course, we're all pro the sustainable purchasing for environmentally friendly things to use. And could you repeat the question? Sorry.
What is your opinion of sustainable purchasing now that Bomber is doing financially better and international news is successful?
So my opinion is, of course, sustainable things are very important for the environment for the environment, and that's something that we should promote and raise awareness for almost all the services to use around campus. So of course, I would be pro for Bomber and International News both to use these kind of things and to push them to purchase them as well and get the places and everything from the Sustainable Campus Initiative. Thank you.
Great question, thanks. So in terms of sustainable purchasing, obviously you'd be crazy to say no to it. But what it really comes down to is it feasible within both the budget as well as the company that you're dealing with? So you mentioned International News, which is a franchise. And I don't, unfortunately, know the inner workings of that franchise, but lobbying with them and working with them in order to improve their sustainable practices in purchasing is something that we can definitely look into. In terms of Bomber, working with you guys in order to find cost-effective alternatives is something that would be a fantastic benefit. And there's even marketing potential in that as well, in terms of if we do start offering those sustainable products, then we can start marketing them as well and increase business hopefully as well. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Sustainable purchasing is something that we do feel really strongly about, and I have to admit I'm not an expert on it, so I'd much rather work with the Sustainable Campus Initiative to bring that forward in all of our businesses. One of the ways we'll do that is through the business review. An interesting thing kind of happened in the last couple of years. In order to make Bomber more financially successful, we did a lot of trade-offs in terms of cost cutting, and one of the things that actually ended up being removed was the idea of biodegradable takeout containers, and the current ones are a little bit cheaper but aren't as sustainable, and that's something we could look at replacing and bringing back now that Bomber's more financially successful. Another area that we could really look at in terms of the Federation of Students isn't just our own businesses, but also the coffee and donut shops around campus. We've seen a lot of great strides in those businesses in being really sustainable, but it's something we can help facilitate through your sustainable purchasing program, and I think that's something that would be really beneficial for students across campus.
The next question is for the presidential candidates. Many universities across the United States as well as Canada have joined the Ban the Bottle campaign, including Ryerson and Queen's University. The participants of this campaign has banned sales of bottled water on campus as a step towards sustainability by reducing waste on campus. How do you feel about this campaign?
That's a fantastic question. I think it's a really interesting idea. The whole. Well, I assume we're going first since they went first, so logical ordering. But they can go first if they'd like to. Oh, cool.
All right. So I would definitely like to see that happen, but the only thing is, Feds only has control over SLC. So to start off with, we could definitely work with our VPOF to ensure that at least SLC could ban the bottle. As for the campus as a whole, we will definitely advocate and try to push administration to try to ban the bottle as well. I'm definitely for it, and I think it's a great idea. And yeah, thanks.
I can just start? Okay. So I think it's an interesting program. Again, it's very strong opinionated and cross-campus, and I think with sort of the sizes of our campus, it would be sort of something to look into, but within SLC, I would have to look with the VP Operations and Finance to see what the cost impact would be for that. But I think sort of a good start would be to start in orientation week. So we give out orientation reusable bottles in the orientation kits, and I think that would be a place to start to say orientation maybe ban the bottle and not give out water bottles. Also something to do, we could put that within the societies and work with the society presidents and seeing how feasible or how how excited they would be to be on board with that. So I think that would be good starts to start small on campus and then see if it would be something that could work cross campus, but definitely something to look into. Thank you.
Okay, so I think important thing to know, obviously, so water bottles tend to be filled with tap water, so switching away from them shouldn't impact people's quality of consumption of water on this campus. Starting with orientation and other large-scale events and ensuring that they are using reusable bottles. Most orientation faculties do give out reusable bottles already, but making sure the ones that don't move in that direction would be a good first step. The other thing is across campus, there is a lot of work being done to introduce more water bottle fillers. So I think once those are more successfully rolled out across campus, it's a bit more feasible to really support this initiative, because until we have the ability for students to carry around their own reusable bottles and effectively conveniently fill them, it'll be a lot harder to get students behind and in support of an initiative like this. I think in the long run, it's something that we can definitely move towards, and I think a lot of students would support, but particularly after we have the bottle fillers in progress and after we've done some rollouts with large-scale events.
The next question is for VP Operations and Finance. Our office is located on the 3rd floor of this SLC, and it has very little student visibility. What are some strategies that you can think of to help increase our visibility within the SLC? As well, how can we broadcast our initiatives and mandates across campus?
So one of the best ways that you can broadcast your initiatives is really sharing in the successes that you've seen in the past couple of years. A lot of students just really don't know what SCI has been doing, because those are a lot of advocacy style priorities and big projects and big wins that students just haven't heard about. So one really good way we can work on making the service more visible is really sharing those wins. Like, for example, getting solar panels on a lot of the buildings on campus is a big win win from Psy a couple of years back that we can promote to students. In terms of visibility of the office, things like maps and an app only go so far. Really what we need to be focusing on is making sure that Psy is collaborating with a lot of groups on campus so that students are aware of it, because a student isn't necessarily going to look at the map and go, oh, we have a sustainable campus initiative on campus, I'm going to go volunteer. The way they're going to volunteer is by seeing you in action and being passionate about what you are doing and seeing how passionate you are about what you're doing. And really, I think that's the best way we can promote and make Psy a more visible and more successful service in terms of student visibility.
It's a very interesting question, especially I think from Team Spark's perspective, looking at the space audit coming up. In terms of getting you guys more availability, as a team, we had this conversation yesterday about the negotiation of space within the SLC, and I think that's something that the services have the potential to benefit from. In terms of where you guys are on the third floor, it's not really ideal, especially when you're a student contact kind of service. Like, you really need to be in people's faces. So that's something that we would be open to negotiation and open to talking with you guys about once that space audit is complete. In terms of broadcasting and getting the word out there, Liz hit a great point in terms of like the brag list and the wins that you guys have had in the past. I know that Feds right now is in the process of creating like a brag site where they just brag all the good things, and really it's trying to increase the knowledge that the average everyday student has about Feds. I think when you talk to a lot of students, they're just unsure of what Feds really does. And something like Psy is just such a great bragging point that it's like, yeah, we do this. Like, this is something that we're incredibly proud of. So it's a way that we can build pride as well as engagement for students. Thanks.
So I definitely agree with Elizabeth and Ben's points. They bring up some really good points about collaboration. But in addition to that, I think that our idea to create a signage map that will be posted in the important parts in SLC, like the focal points, as well as being online. That would be something really important, and it'll help students, especially first years, when they walk into the Student Life Center, just to look around and see where all the offices and everything. That would be something that would catch their eye first thing that they see, basically. And to answer the second part about broadcasting, I believe that with the improvements that we could do to the Fed's website, that in return will improve your specific services pages, and that way we can, with the help of the website and the app, you can be able to post your events and update everything that's going on with the services, and that way it'll reach more students and yeah, basically raise awareness of the Sustainable Campus initiative. Thank you.
The last question is for presidential candidates. Out of these three sectors, which of the following would you endorse to make more sustainable on campus, and why? Waste, water, or food systems?
So I was talking on Twitter the other day with Glenn Wepps in housing. So we were talking about the possibility of a new residence and just sort of what students are thinking. And I think that from Team Spark, I'd like to say that we'd endorse waste. So I think that it's so easy to put a green bin and put compost systems available in residences and on campus, and really make that initiative like campus-wide. And I think that personally in my own household, we're very conscious of our compost, so I think that it would be such a great thing to be able to do that on campus. And so many times I get to the garbage can and I'm like, what do I do? So I think just more advocacy on where in the campus you can put your garbage, and have sort of awareness on what happens after that. So just educating students on that, having compost systems around campus, even just starting small within residences, I think would be a great initiative. Thank you.
So I would actually pick my priority as waste as well. There's a lot of waste on campus, and there's a lot of like non-biodegradable waste, and it really hurts the environment. And I think we could step forward, just like other universities that showed initiative to reduce their waste. We could also step forward, and we could become a more sustainable campus. It's something that all universities have been doing, and it's just about time that Waterloo steps up its game and reduce its waste too, and its footprint on the environment. So I feel like waste would be my top priority, and then food and water would come next. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Though waste is really important, and I think it is a good idea, a lot of people already know about the issue of waste, recycling, the idea of composting food, and I think like we could get a few quick wins on that front without a lot of effort in getting organic disposal bins throughout the residences like already exists at St. Jerome's. So what our focus would be on water. This institution, like this university, is very passionate about water research, and there's a lot of knowledge at this school about how water is used and like how it can be better conserved. This Water Institute, I believe it's called? Yeah, the Water Institute does a lot of fantastic work and research into water and like the impact it's going to have in the long run. So we have that passion at this school to begin with, and we'll have that academic support or faculty support if we're trying to push initiatives on that front. And as I talked to earlier, we're already starting to do a little bit of rollout around improving like water waste across campus. So by getting more of those refill fountains and then starting to push some of those initiatives like you suggested earlier of like the eliminate the bottle, I think we can make a lot of headway next year on water waste on this campus. So that's where our top focus would be. Thank you.
Thank you for your answers. We will now take a 5-minute break. The next service to ask questions is the Women's Center.